Good morning, students. Myself Venkatesh, HOD CSE department. Now, in this class, we are going to talk about C programming and data structures subject. Okay. Whereas in this C programming and data structure subject, totally we have 5 units. Among those 5 units, first two units are C programming, and the remaining 3 units, that is third, fourth, fifth, remaining 3 units are regarding data structures. Okay. So whereas before going to see the what are the various concepts in C programming language, first of all, we will see some brief introduction about what is a computer, what are the various characteristics of a computer, and what are how this C language is going to be generated. Okay, and later on we are going to cover the topics in syllabus book. Okay, see, first of all, what is a computer? Generally, if you go anywhere, you are going to see computer. So each and everywhere nowadays we are using computer. So generally the term computer will came from the word compute. Okay, see, compute is nothing but calculate. From the word compute only we are going to get the computer term. Okay, generally there are so many abbreviations of computer. One of the abbreviation are computer is nothing but commonly operated machine, particularly used in technical and educational research, or we can say one more abbreviation is commonly operated machine, particularly used for training, education and research. Okay. So computer is normally considered to be calculating device. If we want to calculate something, then we are going to use the computer. Either it may be arithmetic operation. Arithmetic operation means addition or subtractions. In olden days, we are going to use the calculators. In calculators, we are going to do only few calculations only. That is the calculations which are very less complexity. If you are going to calculate the complex calculations which are very complex, then we can't do those type of calculations by using the calculator. At that case, we are going to use the computer. Okay. Whereas if you take the if you see the definition of a computer, there are so many definitions of a computer. We have, see, the simple basic definition is computer is a electronic device. This is one of the simple definition. See, and one more thing is computer is a electronic device which takes the input from the user and process the input and give the output. It is one of the definition of the computer. Next, one more definition of the computer is an electronic device which take the input from the user and process the input. Process means calculate, and stores the input and give output to the user. The only thing is what the computer is doing is the computer will take the data from the user and calculate the data which are required for the user and give output to the user. Okay, it takes data and calculate data and it will give output to the result to the user. Okay, next, one more definition of a computer, that is technical definition. Computer is an electronic device that takes data and instructions as input from the user and process it under the control of set of instructions. We can call it as a program, produce a result, or we can say output, and save it for future use. Okay, so next, one more definition is a computer is an electronic device which is used to perform operation on raw data as per instructions given by user. All these are the various definitions of computers. Simply, we can say computer. Computer take the input and then calculate the input and it will give the output to the user. Okay, so this is the definition of a computer. See, if you see the how the computer is look like, okay, here if you take any computer from anywhere, definitely you are going to see one monitor. Okay, here we have one monitor, that is either it may be a CRT monitor or LCD monitor or LED monitor, whatever it may be. And one more thing is in front of monitor we have keyboard. Okay, keyboard is nothing but input device. Here, input and output devices are there. Input is nothing but from which we are going to give input to the computer, whereas output devices are from where we are going to get the output. For example, if you take printer, printer is the output device. Why? Because we are going to take the printouts. Okay, that is output. Whereas input means we are going to give the input to the computer with the help of the keyboard. Keyboard is an input device. Okay. Next here we can call it as a cabinet. Here one box is there now. We can call it as a cabinet or CPU. Okay. So in this CPU we have so many parts are there, like no motherboard, hard disk, RAM, ROM. All these are the hardware. We can call it as a hardware parts. All those parts are in the cabinet, or we can say it is a CPU. And we have speakers also there. Speakers is nothing but output devices. Why? Because we are going to get the output from the speaker, volume, voice. Okay. Next one is one more thing is mouse. Mouse is nothing. It is also a input device. Okay. So this is the one representation of the computer. Okay. Next to, if you see the characteristics of, or we can say features. What are the various features of a computer? Here, first one is speed. Speed is nothing but a computer can perform millions of instructions and even more per second. Okay, so generally, why we are using computer? It can do the calculations faster than the calculator or human. So obviously, the speed of the computer is very more when compared to the human or calculator. So therefore, we can determine the speed of a computer in terms of microseconds or nanoseconds. Okay, the speed of a computer we are going to measure in microseconds. That is 10 power minus 3 or milliseconds, or we can say nanoseconds. Okay, a computer can do fraction of multiple calculations within a fraction of seconds. Okay, so this is the speed. And next one is accuracy. Simply, what is meant by accuracy? A computer can give accurate result to the user. Whatever result expecting from the computer as a user, it will give accurate. Okay. For example, if I am giving one calculation to the user, computer, so it will give the accurate result to the user. Okay. There is no errors occurred in the calculation of a computer. Suppose someone calculate faster but commits a lot of errors in computing. Okay, generally human beings. Such results are useless. Okay. Therefore, there is another aspect. Suppose if you want to divide 15 by 7, you may work out up to 2 decimal places, or say it is divided. It is the dividend is 2.14 like this. I may calculate up to 4 decimal places and say the result is 2.1428, 15 by 7. Okay. Some else will may go up to 9 decimal places, or then we can say result is some 2.14285714 like that. Here, in addition to the speed, the computer should have accurate or correctness in computing. The degree of accuracy of computer is very high, and every calculation is performed with the same accuracy. Okay, see here the accuracy of a computer is very high, and the degree of a particular computer depends upon its design. That means it will give the accurate results. It will not give you any type of errors until and unless the user itself give an error calculation to the computer. Okay, so it is a accuracy. Okay, so next one is storage capacity. Okay, so storage capacity means the computer has an inbuilt memory where it can store a large amount of data. You can also store the data in secondary storage devices like CDs. We have CDs and DVDs which can kept outside of your computer and can be carried to the other computers. Okay, based on the capacity of the storage, we are going to store very high amount of data. Okay. So these are the characteristics. Next, one more characteristics is diligence. Okay. See what is meant by diligence. So diligence is nothing but a computer is generally free from tiredness. There is no tiredness of a computer, just like a human. If you take a human being, a human may work some amount of time. Automatically, that human may feel tiredness. Okay, whereas in the case of computer there is no tiredness. Okay, at the same time lack of concentration. Okay, there is no lack of concentration for the computer. If you take the human being, if you work up to some 5 hours, 6 hours, your mind may be some lack of concentration. In computer it should not be like that. Okay, hence can work for hours together without creating any error. A computer may work 24/7 without creating any error. Okay, a computer can perform the last calculation with exactly the same accuracy and the speed as the first one. Okay, so next one is automation. Once a program is in computer's memory, CPU follow the instructions until it meets the lot instructions. See here, the thing is, we have some 20 instructions. Okay, whatever the output we are going to get the first instruction, the same instruction we are going to 20th instruction also we are going to get the same result. Okay, with the same accuracy. Okay, next one is reliability. So reliability is nothing but because a computer is an electronic device, it performs operations 100% accuracy and reliability. So here reliability means accuracy. Okay, there is no chance of giving errors. It will give 100% of work clearly. Okay, so next one is versatility. So versatility means the capability to perform completely different types of tasks. Okay, the computer may work whenever, if you see some people, those who are working with the computer, they may work with different purposes. Okay, for example, you may use your computer to prepare payroll slips, that means salary slips, or next moment you may use it for some internet purpose, or you are going to use to prepare some electric bills, or you are going to use for to checking the mails, like this. Okay, so here versatility means you are going to perform different types of works. Okay, at different moments. A computer is capable of performing almost any task according to given instructions from the user. Okay, whereas if you come to the limitations or drawbacks of a computer, so here all these are also considered characteristics or features only. Or if you see the in detail, then we can take these are the limitations. Okay, first one is no IQ. Okay, here no IQ means computer is a dumb machine and it cannot do any work without instruction from the user. Okay, it is view to decide what you want to do and in what sequence you have to do. So a computer can't take its own decisions. See, for example, as a user, I am going to calculate some instructions. The computer cannot do anything. Okay, it is just like as a dumb machine. Okay, in what order it is going to be executed means that order also I am going to give to the computer based on the user instructions only. The computer can do. Okay. Next one is no feelings. Okay, a computer cannot have any feelings. It does not have feelings or emotions or tastes or knowledge and experience. We cannot distinguish between user and computer. Okay, and next one is data machine readable. A computer data is read by machine, meaning data obtained from the computer can read by the computer itself. Okay, we are going to read the data, whatever data we have in the computer. And next one is, next drawback is it requires power to operate it. Definitely without power we cannot operate the computer. It is one of the limitation. Problem, next one is a problem may occur due to system breakdown. Okay, for example, if I have a data in my computer, I stored a lot of data in my computer. Sometimes a system may break down, system may fail use. I'm going to lose my data. So this is also one of the drawbacks of the computer. All these are the various drawbacks of computer. Okay. So these are the characteristics and the limitations of computer. So next, coming to the C language. Okay. So history of C language. Okay. So here C is a programming language developed at AT and T, that is American Telephone and Telegraph Bell Laboratories of USA in 1972 by Dennis Rich. So who is the author or who is the developer of the C language? Who developed the C language? His name is Dennis Rich only. The C language was developed from the language B. Here B is the language which was developed from BCPL. Okay, so BCPL means Basic Combined Programming Language. C is considered as a middle level language as it supports some of the features of low level language also. C is case sensitive language, that is uppercase letters and lowercase letters are different. Um, so if you take the history of C language, first in the C language was developed in the year 1972. Before the C language, we have some of the languages from the previous languages only. We are going to get the C language only. That first one is Algol. It is 1960. In the year 1960, the language which was developed is Algol, or we can say Algol 60. Who will develop this language is International Committee. That means it is a committee of several members. We can say International Committee. Then in the year 1963, we have one more language, that is CPL, that is Combined Programming Language. Who will develop this language is Cambridge University. International committee only, but university is Cambridge University. And in the year 1963, we have BCPL. That means from the CPL, Combined Programming Language only, we are going to get the BCPL. That is Basic Combined Programming Language. Who will develop this language is Martin Richards. Okay. From the BCPL only, in the year 1970, the language was developed is B. Okay. The language name was B. Who will develop this language is Ken Thompson in the laboratory of AT&T, that is American Telephone and Telegraph Bell Laboratories. Okay. In the year 1972, the language C was developed from the previous language B by the Dennis Rich. Okay. C is a general purpose structured programming language. C was originally developed for system programming, but it is also used for developing application softwares also. Okay, so this is the history of C. Okay, the next concept is C characteristics. Okay, see, if you take any language, if you take English language, whenever we are talking in English, definitely we are going to use the some alphabets, that characters. Okay, that may be lowercase characters or uppercase characters. Whenever we are working with the C language, so in C language, what type of characters we are going to use? So what are the various characters we are going to use in C language? Okay. So all those characters we are going to learn in the C character set. As every language contains a set of characters used to construct words or statements. If you take C language, just like as the other languages, C language also has set of characters which includes alphabets, digits, and special symbols. Every C program contains statements. If you take one C language program, definitely it has some statements. These statements are constructed using words. Again, these words are constructed using characters. Definitely, if you take one word DBSIT, so how we are going to get the word DBSIT? It is from the characters. That is, D is one character, B is one character, S is one character, like this. Okay. See, in C language also, whenever we are going to writing a program in C language, definitely we are going to write the words. Okay, how, from where we are going to get the words? By using the characters only. Okay, like this, if you take the C language character set, Mainly, we have C character set includes alphabets, digits, and special symbols. Okay, that means whenever we are writing a program, whenever we are talking with C language, we are going to without using the alphabets, digits, and special symbols, we cannot use the C language. Okay, definitely. So if suppose I am going to write the C language program, definitely I am going to use the alphabet, digits, or special symbols like this. Okay, so what is the alphabet? So simply you know about alphabet and digits, and you should know about the special symbols. Anyway, we will see here. So alphabets. Okay, here alphabets. C language supports the alphabets from English language. Just like in English language, we have lowercase letters and uppercase letters. Totally, we have 52 alphabets. That is 26 lowercase, 26 uppercase. Lowercase is from A to Z. Uppercase is also A to Z. Whereas digits, definitely C language also supports 10 digits. Okay, if you want to work with C language, digits are 10 digits means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. Whereas special symbols. Okay, so if you take whenever you are working with special symbols, C language supports different symbols, special symbols like no at the rate, dollar symbol, percentage, caret, tilde. First one is a tilde, that is left parenthesis, right parenthesis, underscore, left flower bracket, right flower bracket. Mm. Next one is left square bracket, left right square bracket. Next, all these are the various special symbols we are going to use in C language. Okay. So next one is C language tokens, or we can say uh, C language elements. What are the various elements of C language? Simply, we can say tokens. What is a token? So token is nothing but the smallest individual unit in a program. We can call it as a token. It is some smallest individual unit. C tokens are used for writing the C program. Without C tokens, we cannot write the C programs. Generally, C tokens have, in the C tokens, we are going to talk about keywords, identifiers, constants, strings, special symbols, and operators. Okay. See, next one is first one is keywords. Okay, so what is a keyword? So keywords are called as system defined words. The system defined words are called as keywords. They have fixed and predefined meaning. If you take any keyword, that keyword has some special meaning. These keywords can be used only for their intended purpose. Okay, if you take one keyword, that keyword has some special meaning. Okay, so all keywords must be written in lowercase only. We have totally 32 keywords are there. All the 32 keywords are mentioned here. Totally 32 keywords. All the keywords are in lowercase only. Keywords are also called as reserved words. What is another name for keywords? Reserved words. Keywords are called as building blocks of C language. So what are the building blocks of C language means? These 32 keywords only we can call it as a building blocks. Okay, so what are the various keywords means? Auto, const, const, again double, float, int, short, struct, unsigned, break, continue, else, for, long, signed, switch, void, case, default, enum, go to, register, size of, type def, volatile, char, do, extern, if, return, static, uniform, while. All these are the different types of keywords. Totally, we have 32 keywords. The entire C language is about the keywords only. If entire in this entire C language, you are going to talk about the keywords only. At the end of the C language, you are going to know which keyword will be used for which purpose. Okay. For example, if it is auto, auto is one of the keyword which is used in storage classes in order to declare a variable. Next, constant. Constant is a keyword which is used for to represent a constant. So double is a keyword which is used to represent the data type. Float is also one of the keyword which is used to represent the data only. So int is also like that only. So in this way, you are going to learn total 32 keywords through this entire C language subject. Okay, so these are the keywords. So next one is identifiers. Okay, so identifiers is also one of the major concepts in C language. What is the identifier? Identifier is a user defined name of an entity to identify it uniquely during the program execution. So simply we can say identifier is a name given to one location. Okay, for example, if you take one memory, in this memory I have two values, that like no 20 again 30. Okay, see for example I want to update the value 30. Okay, definitely I'm going to update 30. Why? Because two different values. Okay, but it is not the case. It is not the case. In the memory we have two values. One memory location 20 is there. Again one more memory location 20 is there. See for example I want to update the 20. Here two 20s are there memory. So without any name. Okay. So for example in the memory 100 there is a value called 20. In the memory 200 there is one more value called 20. See for example I'm going to say update 20 value with 10. That means I am going to say add 10 to the 20. So definitely there is a question arises. Which 20 I am going to update? That is the 20 which is present in the 100 location or the 20 which is present in the 200 location. Okay. For this one, in order to avoid those confusion, we are going to give name to the location. That is for 100 location, I am going to give name A. For the 200 location, I am going to give name B. Okay. See, for example, if I will say you are going to update the value, means definitely you will ask one question: which location, either A or B. Then only we are going to update the location. Okay. So identifier is like that only. Identifier is nothing but it is one name given to the one location. For example, int marks. Okay, or we can say char student name. Here marks student name are the identifiers. Okay, so whenever we are going to create identifier, definitely we should follow some rules. What are the various rules? Means an identifier can contain letters uppercase and lowercase and numeric and underscore symbols only. Next one is an identifier should not start with numeric value. So if you are representing an identifier, it should not start with a numeric value, that is a number. It can start with a letter or underscore. Okay, you are going to start with a letter. Okay, or you are going to start an identifier with underscore, that is a special symbol. We should not use any special symbol in between identifiers. We are not going to use any special symbol in between the identifiers. For example, here the identifier is marks. Okay, student name is one identifier. Between these two, we are not using any special symbol. Okay. Next, keywords should not be used as identifiers. We have totally 32 keywords are there now. So among those 32 keywords, we should not use as the identifiers. There is no limit for the length of the identifier. However, the compiler considers the first 31 characters only. Whenever you are going to represent the identifier, we are going to take any number of characters. See here, marks is identifier, one identifier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters. Again, student name is one identifier. Like this, we are going to take an identifier name as any number of characters, but the compiler will take only 31 characters as identifier. Okay, so this is the identifier. So what is a variable? Okay, variable is just like as a identifier only. So variable is also, it is a name given to memory location where our value is going to be stored. Whenever we are going to create a one variable, definitely again we are going to follow some of the rules. What are the rules which we will follow for the identifier? The same rules only we are going to follow for creating the variable. Okay, so whatever the rules we will follow for the creating a identifier, the same rules only we are going to follow here only. Okay, variable name should not start with a digit. Okay, at the same time keywords should not be used as variable name. Again, variable name should not contain any special symbols except underscore. A variable name should start with underscore, but it should not contain any special symbols. A variable we can use any number of characters, but it will take 31 characters. Same data type during the program execution. Okay, all these are the variable creation rules. Okay, so next, what are the declaration of a variable? How we are going to declare a variable? So syntax for declaration of a variable is data type space followed by variable name. Here data type is nothing but what type of data we are going to store into a variable. So generally data are integer data is there, or some fraction data is there, like no. So what type of data we are going to store into a variable, this data type will represent. So here variable, name of the variable, for example here int is a data type, and a number is the variable name. Okay, number is the variable name. Whenever we are creating the variable name, we should keep in mind what are the various rules for creating a variable. A variable should not start with a number. Okay, why? Because it is one rule. For example, here number is a identifier. Before n, I should not use any one number, that is 2 number, digit 2. I cannot use 2. Why? Because variable name should not start with a number. Okay, like this. Here one more example is int a. Int is a data type. If you see the syntax, declaration syntax of variable, data type followed by variable name. Here data type is int, variable name is a, again float b. Float is nothing but data type, b is variable name, again char c. C is a variable name, char is data type. Like this we are going to declare a variable. Okay, so next one is constants, or we can say literals or constants. Generally constant, it is a constant is nothing but it is a fixed value that will not change during the execution of the program. So you know constant, for example 5 is a constant, that value should not be changed. 10 is a constant, that value should not be changed. There are generally 4 types of constants are there. First one is integer constant. So here in this integer constant, integer, what is meant by integer? There is a sequence of digits. Integers means sequence of digits only. There are 3 types of integer constants. First one is decimal integer constants, octal integer constants, next hexadecimal integer constants. Whereas decimal number constants, decimal number integer constants, it will contain the set of digits from 0 to 9, which can be a positive or negative. Okay, decimal means from 0 to 9. Okay, for example 6, 46 or 48, 396, like this. And next one is octal. See what is meant by octal? Octal is nothing but it is a digit from 0 to 7 with a leading 0. Okay, that means whenever we are going to represent the octal, it should start with 0. Okay, but the number which we are going to use for octal is in between 0 to 7 only. Okay, for example, if you take 037, starts with 037, in between 0 to 7 only. Again 0435, okay, starts with 0, octal starts with 0, again 435, it is in between 0 to 7 only. Okay, so next one is hexadecimal. So hexadecimal number has totally 16 digits, that is from 0 to 9. And again after we are going to calculate the alphabet, that is A to F. A is 10, B is 11, like this. Okay, it is a sequence of digits which is preceded by 0x or 0 capital X. Okay, whenever we are going to represent the hexadecimal, in order to represent the hexadecimal, previously we are going to use 0x or 0x, that is 0 small x or 0 capital X. Okay, but the entire hexadecimal number may be a 0 to 9, and I'm going to use the A, B, C, D, E, F, like this. That is from 10 to 15. It is a integer constant. So next one is a floating constant or real constant. Okay, so definitely we are not going to deal with only integers. Sometimes we are going to talk with the decimal points also. In order to represent the decimal points, we are going to use the floating or real constants. So integer constants are not sufficient to represent all integer constants, are not to represent the all quantities such as price, distance, temperature. For example, if you want to represent the price, for example 45.32, so it is a decimal. So again distance is 32.52, it is a, again decimal. Decimal means floating, or we can say real. So if you take temperature 98.32, 98.10, it is a decimal point. Okay, in order to represent the decimal points, we are going to use the floating constants. That is like no fractional parts. For example, here I would like to know 65.987. So here 65 is an integer part, it is a decimal point, that is 987, like this. If we want to represent this type of integer constants, we are going to go for a floating point or real constants. A floating number can also be represented as exponential or scientific notation. If you represent the floating or real constants, definitely we are going to use the scientific notation or exponential notation. For example, 1.23 into 10 power minus 5, okay, or 1.23 into e power minus 0.5. Okay, so simply this type of forms we can call it as a mantissa and exponent. For example, if you see 1.23 into 10 power minus 5, in this 1.23 into 10 power minus 5, 1.23 we can call it as a mantissa, minus of 0.5 is called as exponent. That means floating or real constants we are going to represent in the form of mantissa and exponent. Okay, here 1.23 into 10 power minus 5, here 1.23 is nothing but mantissa. Again after into 10 power minus 5 is there na, so minus 5, of course minus 5 means in the exponent only, we can call it as a name as exponent. Okay. So next one is character constant. So character constant is nothing but a single character alphabets in upper cases, that is from A to Z, or lowercase, or digits, that is 0 to 9, or special symbols. All these are the character constants. Okay. Lowercase means 26 characters, uppercase means 26. Again, digits means from 0 to 9. Special symbols means at the rate, hash, dollar, again percentage, star, ampersand, plus, minus, into, colon, slash. All these are the different types of character constants. Okay. For example, A is one character constant. It is a single character. Capital A is one character constant. Okay. So what is the difference between character constants and string constants means? Whereas string constants, it is a combination of two characters. Whereas character means only one. Either it may be a character or digit, or it may be a special symbol. Okay. Whereas a string constant is a single character or a group of character enclosed with double quotes. Whenever you are going to represent the string constants, that should be enclosed with double quotes. If you say here hello, hello is started with double quotes and ends with double quotes. It is one string constant. Why? Because sequence of characters. Again, it is also one string constant. Why? Because that should be started with double quotes and ended with double quotes. Okay. Here, what is a string constant? It is a group of characters or group of numbers enclosed with double quotes. So we can call it as a string constants. Okay. Thank you.